It's believed to have started on the ghost train in the pier's fun fair. Around 60 firefighters battled for more than 2 hours to bring it under control. They were helped by Brighton and Shoreham lifeboat crews. Fire crews have now left the scene and an investigation is underway. Antisocial behaviour.
The Chief Inspector escape, part of it open for business this morning. And how animals in the south. There's been another disastrous blow for Brighton's piers. Just weeks ago, part of the West Pier collapsed into the sea during bad weather. Last night, Brighton Pier was on fire. People were forced to leave as the fire took hold. And this morning, an investigation has begun into what happened. Our Sussex reporter Sean Killick has been following events since last night. We can join him now in Brighton. Sean.
Well, Sally, it's a beautiful sunny seaside image of Brighton here today, in stark contrast to the alarming pictures from here last night. Now, our reporter Natalie Graham has been on the pier this morning to investigate the damage.
This is what the ghost train on Brighton Pier looks like today. Last night's fire was fierce, but it was contained quickly, and the flames barely touched any of the other rides. The managers of the Palace Pier are very relieved this morning. The damage to the structure of the pier isn't nearly as bad as they thought last night, and they're hoping this whole area could be repaired and reopened within a few weeks.
Having seen the fire last night on the television, it could be a lot worse. The building, the ghost train itself, is almost entirely destroyed, but the deck underneath is quite badly burnt. There's even some holes in it in places, but the main steel substructure looks to be good. We've been round in a boat this morning, and it looks pretty good. Even the paint's still on it in places.
At 7:30 yesterday evening, the flames were up to 30 feet high and could be seen 20 miles along the coast. It was under control within an hour, but not before it had given the people of Brighton a nasty fright.
I saw the pictures on television. Oh my goodness! But I'm quite pleased actually. Now that I've been here and I can see it, that it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Well, I'm pleased there isn't any more damage because
Fire investigators have been on the pier all morning, but no one appears to know how the fire started. This drama comes just a few weeks after the collapse of the West Pier. At one stage last night, many people thought Brighton was about to lose them both, but today the public was allowed back on this one. Brighton still has one pier that's open for business. Natalie Graham, BBC South Today, Brighton.
What's your reaction to last night's fire?
Last night looked dreadful. I'm just so delighted there's people on there and the pier's up and operating as per usual.
The images of the fire were being literally around the world. A couple of weeks ago, we had images of the other pier, part of it falling into the sea, being beamed around the world. Tourism is extremely important for Brighton, isn't it? How damaging are these images?
The images could be, but the reality of it is that it won't be do us any harm at all. I mean, Palace Pier is up, operating, it's fine, and it's a delight. The real joy is that nobody was hurt.
But you're not concerned then that these pictures might put people off? They might think around the country that...
have now turned down an application to put more rides on it. Here's our Sussex reporter, Mark Sanders.
The owners of Brighton Pier, until recently called the Palace, had been hoping for their fortunes to improve. After the fire that ravaged the far end of it, they had wanted to get planning permission for 2 large rides. But the council has rejected their plans, saying the rides, at over 130 feet each, would have overwhelmed the pier. Conservationists feel the attractions are cluttering the structure and preventing people from having access to all points of the pier.
Putting these large rides in, they're continuing to infringe the corners of the pier. As you can see behind me, one corner is blocked now by the go-karts. The others are just about accessible, or they were before the fire. And it would be very nice to think that those corners could be completely accessible, even though some of these new rides might be included in more central positions.
After the fire, conservationists argue it's an ideal opportunity to rethink the layout of the pier and to enhance one of the South's most popular tourist attractions. Mark Sanders, BBC South Today, Brighton.
Well, we did